a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's be free with Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts.
Good morning, everyone. I love how they have the timing of the song and the countdown. It just ended at the exact right time. Morning, everyone. My name's Ardyth, and I am in Toronto, Canada. And my lesson today was about rocker cards. These are cards that you make with circular shapes so that they're interactive and they rock on the table when you set them on your table. And they're just completely irresistible. Nobody can walk by without touching it and making it rock. So it's a really fun, really easy fun fold that you can use. So we're looking for some questions. So if anybody's got questions, I saw one about my dots dies. I use a lot of, over the years, I've collected lots of little dots dies, and I've just kept them. So there should be in my supply list some links to some of the dot dies, but if there was one specifically that I used that you didn't see linked, let me know and I will find out where you can get it. Okay, so where you can find it for purchase. Yeah, I'm wondering which dot die you're talking about, and if it's the signature polka dot cover plate die, that is from a little company called Jillian Vance Design. They're in Ohio, and their website is a Jillian Vance Design. So, and Jillian with a J. I hope I've got that linked in my supply list, but if not, I can get you the link afterwards. So don't worry about that. The swirly one, I see, Claudine says. Okay, so I think then you're talking about Gina K, lots of dots. That is a die set that comes with a whole bunch of different dies, and it cuts a whole bunch of different patterns and sizes of dots and circles. So that's a really useful one as well. I like that because it has different sizes And when I'm using embellishments, I like to use different sizes so that, you just get a little variety. Good. Yeah. So yes, it was a Gina K. I don't have a circle die big enough, so I'm going to use a bowl to get the circle size. That's a great idea. You'll need to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Steady with your hands, with your cutting hands. But yeah, anywhere or any way you can get a circle it's going to work. So if you've got a Cricut machine, any kind of die cutting machine, that'll work as well. So Susan says, will this be available on replay? Yes. This live stream will live on the YouTube channel forever. You can go back 8 summits now and see all my lives over the years. Hopefully you'll see that I've gotten more comfortable with it over time. I remember the first time I did it way back in 21. That was the first time I had ever gone live, and I was super nervous. But even now, I don't go live that often, but I feel a lot more comfortable with it. Will we be making cards with metal dies? Not in the next half an hour, we won't. In my class, I use metal dies to create my rocker cards. But as we were just saying, any way that you want to make a circle, whether you're using a bowl or a glass or a Cricut machine to create a circle, that all those things will work. Ardyth, I love the rocker cards and was interested in your bonus video. When I tried the link, I got Christmas color. Oh boy. Okay. I will, after this live, I will go to Harriet and make sure I've got that right link, the correct link there. So yeah, that's an old freebie and you're welcome to have it. There's lots of freebies. You can go to my blog, which is ardythpr.com, and there's lots of freebies there. And, but I will make sure that link is fixed with Harriet after. Yes, thanks for letting me know about that. That's important. Okay, any more questions? I have a wedding to attend soon. Now I'm thinking of a rocker card. I guarantee you, if you do a rocker card for the wedding, it will be their favorite. I just don't understand how anybody could walk by and not want to just get it rocking. So yeah, I think, and that's the beauty of this super easy fun fold, right? You can make any style of card for any recipient. It might not be a sympathy card, I guess, but anything else, any happy occasion, I think it would work really well for. I found the same thing, but when I did a second time, the landing page had multiple things, including the video. Okay, so that's something to try. I will definitely look into it afterwards. I can't even remember now. It was so long ago. I gave the links to Harriet, but I will double check and make sure that everything's working. And guys, if you ever have a question or a problem, you can email me and I will make sure that you get the freebie. Okay, so don't worry about it, even if it is not the correct link on the page. Okay. Love your lessons so much. Thank you. The design is awesome. Not only did you teach an interactive cue card, but you taught about Stencil. Yes. So that's one of the things I like to do is, and this is why I know sometimes you expect when you come to a summit that it's going to be step by step. Here's how you make my card. And that's a great format. It's not what I'm really comfortable with. I like to take an idea and then show you lots of ways to use it. That's just how I like to roll. And that's what you'll see if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. So yeah, so I'm glad you enjoyed that aspect of it. What is a dot die? That is a very good question. It is a die. That is one thing, you know what? I prepared and I got lots of things out to show you, but that is one thing I did not get out. A dot die is just a die that cuts a lot of dots. And the ones I've been talking about are actually designed to cut like holes or windows in your panel so that it's like a design element. But what I like to do is take the little dots that come out of that die cutting exercise and use them as little embellishments. They're flat, and if you cut them from specialty cardstock like glitter or mirror cardstock, they look like sequins. So, and then they match any other element on your card. I'm just looking around to see what I've got here. So I don't know how close I can get here. Like these little dots, these little sequin kind of things, I die cut those with the dies. So if you take a look at my supply list, you'll see the dies that I was using, and you'll be able to understand a bit better what I'm talking about. Have you ever made a rocker card as a shaker? I have a guilty secret. I am not a fan of shakers. I have made a number of shakers over the years, but it is not a favorite of mine. And there's a couple of reasons. One is because I haven't made a lot, I'm not super comfortable. I don't have my own process for getting it right all the time. Aside, if you want to learn about shakers, make sure you watch Carly T's video. She is awesome. She loves doing shakers, and she's super good at it. So that's one reason I don't do them. The other reason I don't do them, and I want to do a video about this at some point, the great card debate. Who is card worthy? And I know lots of people, they're worried that, people won't keep their cards on hand, or, and so my opinion on this is I don't want people that I send cards to feel obligated to keep them forever. And I think if I send them a shaker, they're more likely to feel obligated to keep it forever. And I don't want to cause them that stress if it's stressful. If I do a shaker, like I do it for my 9-year-old niece, or somebody who's really going to appreciate that interactive portion. Having said all that, if you wanted to, you could do a shaker on your add-on for sure. It would have to be a standalone shaker, so one where you build up the sides and then have like a shaker in the center, and that would be even more interactive and super cute. So how did you like my tip about finding the half of the circle? I thought that was pretty genius. It was, when you cut a circle, a cardstock circle, it's hard to lay it on your scoreboard and figure out where the half is. So using a second piece of paper that's thinner and easier to fold, I thought that was pretty genius, if I do say so myself. I'm sure other people have done it, but I felt like I invented it. So how did you figure out the cool stencil variations and designs? Do you have any ideas for geometric stencils for purchase? Oh, Melanie, yes. Stencils are probably my favorite go-to item right now. They are fairly inexpensive. I mean, the layering stencils, if you get 5 or 6 layers, they can be more pricey. But there's so many ways to use stencils. And I've been really focused on stencils for probably the last couple of years, increasingly. After I found this company called A Colorful Life Designs, they have 1 million stencils. You'll have a hard time walking away from there without a full cart. So I've been working with stencils for the last couple of years, and one of the things about me is I'm not afraid to experiment. I'm not afraid to fail when it comes to card making. Like I love to just play, and if something doesn't work, I just keep it in my mind that didn't work. There are days where I don't let that stop me, and I keep going until I make it work. And but I know a lot of us, I think we want to sit down and make a card and be done and be able to send it. And I'm lucky enough to be in a situation where I do have that time to play and experiment. But that's really how I feel like I got better at finding these things. So yeah, for geometric stencils, they're everywhere. A Colorful Life Designs, like I say, they have a huge, that's all they sell basically. They sell a few other things, but they mostly sell stencils. And so they've got lots of geometric designs. But I keep an eye out whenever I see things like I saw recently, there's a Christina Werner stencil that's like rings of circles that I have on order, and I'm excitedly waiting for that to arrive so I can use that. Yeah, I've got a lot. I love geometrics. I love symmetry. I love a square card. You probably know that about me. So yeah, that's just something I keep an eye out. And if you go and look at my Instagram, you look at my YouTube, you're going to see me linking to those kinds of products a lot. Where are your favorite stores to purchase stencils? Okay, so yeah, as I said, a Colorful Life Designs is it's a one-stop shop for every style of stencil. I love Christina Werner's work. I'm trying to think. Another one that I've had a lot of comments about was an All and Create. This is a company I don't know much about, but it's AALL and Create. And I bought a big stencil that has dots all cut out, and it's all different sizes of dots. And it's a big enough stencil. It's 6x9, I think, or 9x12, that you can like stencil a bit on a panel and then shift the stencil and stencil a bit more and kind of layer it up and get a really like a feeling of depth that you've got all these layers. I made a Father's Day card with it, and I've had a lot of comments about that stencil, and that's available. I'm trying to think where I got that. Simon Says Stamp, probably. So yeah, I shop for any company. I really, when I'm shopping, and I don't do it that much anymore, but when I'm shopping, I'm not limited to any one company, any one style, any one brand. I buy what I like and I use it. And then if it's not available when I make a video using it, then I encourage people to use their stash and use what I call limes, which is something I came up with. This is a process, a thought process, really, for looking at an inspiration and then deciding, like listing what the characteristics of your inspiration are, and then deciding which direction you want to go in. So on my channel, again, there's lots of videos about how to get the look. And that's really what I'm all about, is how do you get the look with what you've got if you don't have, or you can't get, or, for whatever reason, you just want to get the look without actually having the exact products. Is there another way to pop up thin sentiments other than stacking them? I have seen people. Oh, that's stacking. I was going to say you can use craft foam. So instead of using 2 or 3 or 4 layers of cardstock, you could use crafting foam. I've seen people do that. To me, it just feels like another thing to buy. So I'd rather just use cardstock. I have seen people, and I'm thinking Laura Basson right now. She can cut the tiniest slivers of foam tape and use that. But again, I find that fiddly. And I'm sure she does a good job at it. But to me, it feels like there's portions of the word that wouldn't be supported as well as they are with a stacked up die cut. So that's my preferred way of doing it. I can't think of anything else right now, but if I do, I'll let you know. What inks do you use? They are bold and bright, very pretty. I use Catherine Pooler inks, and lately I've been using some Concord and Ninth inks. I was on Catherine Pooler's design team when she started releasing inks, and I just fell in love with them. They are juicy, they are bright, they come in, I don't know, probably 110 colors now. And so there's colors that everyone will like. These inks are water reactive, so they're a bit like the distress inks in that way. They stamp beautifully. They give you full coverage first time, as long as you don't let your ink pads get too dry. Sometimes that happens to me, and then I do have to stamp them more than once. They blend beautifully. Honestly, I think whatever inks you've got, if you work with them enough, you'll get used to their properties and you'll like them. So, are they the best inks out there? Yeah, I think so. But honestly, I haven't actually done a comparison with everything else. I love how they work for me. Ardyth, what's your favorite make to create? 4 1/4 inch square card. That's what I go to. When I started card making way back in 2006, um, I was fascinated by the idea of this A2 card size. I thought that was the weirdest card size. Like, when you go to a card store, they're all bigger than an A2 card. And I think that A2 size comes from you can get 2 out of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper or cardstock. So I started making A2 size cards, and I've always really liked the symmetry of squares. I like the modern look of a square card. And so at one point, I just cut down an A2 card. I cut that little edge off so that I had a 4 1/4 inch square, and that's what I've been making ever since. I still sometimes will make an A2 card, usually if I can't bear to cut down a background or if my focal point needs more breathing space or something. But my 4 1/4 inch square card is my favorite for sure. What? Already? That's crazy. I can't believe how fast that went. I know I saw some questions in the chat, so I will go back. Once it's on YouTube, I will go back and do my best to answer them. But yeah, tag me anywhere. I'm happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the summit. Bye.